guys, today I'm going to be talking about all the books that are on my physical TBR, the books that I purchased on my bookshelf that I've yet to read. I'm going to go through this list, or the books. And honestly, it's dwindled down. I think I've knocked off maybe 6 books over the last 2 weeks, give or take. I don't know. I've only been reading off of my physical TBR right now, but I have been having the urge to get Kindle Unlimited again. So I might not be making as big of a dent in the coming weeks. We're gonna get into it. Today, like I said, I'm gonna talk about all of the books that I have in my physical TBR. I'm gonna try to go in order from when I purchased them because I'm a psycho and I have them on my bookshelf chronologically. First book is The House Across the Lake. This is a thriller book about the house across the lake. I have in fact started this book. I feel like I could make another video about books that I started but have not completed and why, because it happens from time to time. So yeah, I started this book, didn't finish it. One of the reasons why was I was watching a YouTuber and she mentioned how it was very slow, and at the time when I heard that, it just turned me off. I said, I don't want to read a slow thriller, sorry. And since then I have not picked it back up, and I think that was approximately a year and a half ago, but maybe one day. Next is the Build the Life You Want. This will be the only book that you see in here that is not fiction. My mom actually bought me this for Christmas about a year and a half ago, like not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before. And I told her I would read it by this upcoming Christmas, but I did not. I have not even opened the book to read any of it. And I actually hate that for me because it's supposed to be like a self-care, like a self-help book. I do want to start to read different genres and obviously things that would be better to help my life and all that stuff. I think I do need to prioritize like maybe reading a chapter a day or chapter a week or something like that, because I read so often, so there's no reason for me to have not read this book. I just simply, other than the fact that I don't want to, but I do want to, I just haven't. Next we have The Dating Playbook. My friend actually got me this for Christmas or for my birthday, one of the two. My birthday is like 2 weeks after Christmas, so I don't remember. Yeah, it's a book I want to read. But haven't yet and don't know when I will. And it's weird because I feel like if this book wasn't in third person, I actually would have read it already. This book is about athlete and a athletic trainer or a personal trainer. I don't know how I haven't like read this book because I love sports IRL and I, exercise IRL. In real life, I don't know why I just did IRL twice. So there's no reason again like why I just haven't been able to, because I've had this book for a long enough time to read it. I know this is like my TBR, but it's like I could have read it already. I'll get to it. And I have 7 Days in June. I think I'm gonna try to read this in the summertime because I actually did buy it last summer. I have heard like really good things about it. I think it was like when Amazon was having a book sale or something. I bought this because I saw like people talking about it. I was like, oh, this looks like a book I would like to read. And then I saw people talking about it like I've been saying, and I purchased it. The next couple of books are all by the same author from 3 different series of hers. This one is The Photo Finish. I believe this is book 2 in the Gold Rush Ranch. I guess that's what the series is called. Based on her other series that I have read, they're interconnected standalones. So I think I might get spoilers of the characters in book 1 from book 2, but like I could still read book 1 and it wouldn't really be that big of a surprise because it's a romance book. It's a contemporary romance book, so you know who's gonna end up with who. I don't remember what this one's about, but I do know I have liked the 3 Elsie Silver books I have read, or 4 actually think I have read, so I'm pretty sure this will just, when I get to it, it'll just be another book of hers that I liked. And then I have book 4 and 5 from the Chestnut Hill series. I read obviously the first 3. I usually don't buy a completed series before I finish the whole series. I bought 3 through 5. Haven't only read the first 2, but again, it's like a contemporary small town standalone interconnected. So it's like if I liked book 1 and 2, I'm pretty sure I'll like book 3, 4, and 5. So I have Reckless and Hopeless, and I'm excited to get into Reckless. I almost was gonna read this like right now. This is almost going to be my current read, but instead I'm reading a different book. And we have Wild Eyes, which I believe this is book 2 in this Rose Hill series. Again, I don't remember what this one's about, but all of her books have like small town country romance. So if you're not, honestly, I was gonna say if you're not a small town country romance girl, then don't read Elsie Silver books, but I actually do not typically like small town country romance books, and I have thoroughly enjoyed the 4 books of hers that I have read, so I would actually recommend them even if you don't like those. If you like contemporary romance books, then I would like recommend. If you don't like contemporary romance, then maybe not. So I did enjoy book 1, which was called Wild Love, I believe. So Wild Eyes is about a single dad, apparently. I just saw that and love. A lot of these books I've had on my TBR going from like probably 2 years up until 3 weeks or so ago. So some I just don't remember as much as others. Next I have Then She Was Gone. I think I sent this to my best friend, a picture of it, and she told me that her sister has it. But she hasn't read it, so she has no recommendations or nothing to say about it. I bought it from the library. They were having a book sale and it was 50 cents. So love that for me. This is a thriller and it takes place in third person, which I am not the biggest third person fan, but I will read a book if it's in third person. It just has to be written really well for me to like it. I think this one will be good when I'm in the mood for a thriller. I'm not in the mood for a thriller right now, so I haven't read it, but when the time comes, I think this will be good. That was embarrassing. Next we have The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, and this was also 50 cents from the local library. This one's just another contemporary romance book. I think this one's like a he wants kids, she doesn't want kids, and so they end up in the friend zone. I believe that's what this book is about. But all of the Abby Jimenez books I've read thus far, I've thoroughly enjoyed. I've only read two. I've read Just for the Summer and Yours Truly, and those are both pretty easy reads, so I imagine that this one will be as well. Next I have Mame. I am excited to read this book. I hope I enjoy it because I believe this book is a fiction book, and I don't really read fiction. I want to start branching out in genres because I read so often. I have been wanting to start to read different genres, and as you can tell by the books I've gone through, it's a lot of romance books. That's like my favorite and main read. I do want to branch out some, so I'm excited to read this book because I think this book is just about life, honestly. So I'm intrigued. Then I have A Flicker in the Dark, another thriller book that I actually was scrolling through my Amazon like saved or add to cart and then, you know, save later section, and I actually saw this book in there, and I think I saved it from like a year and a half ago. So I have been wanting to read this book for a while, and yet it still sits on my TBR, but I might read this one sooner than I'll read others in this pile. It's just like a thriller about teenage girls going missing, 16s go missing in a small town, and 20 years later, and a psychiatrist is, I don't know, getting questioned about it. I just know that did not make anybody want to read that book, but the synopsis sounds good. I have Sight and Sparrow. I actually bought this a couple weeks ago. This is book 3 in the Ruinous Love trilogy. I'm currently reading book 2, halfway through Leather and Lark. Obviously, I need to finish book 2 before I can move on to book 3. I don't really foresee myself reading this anytime soon, if I'm being honest, because the kind of book I want to read next is not this book. But I don't really know the synopsis. I kind of like to go in, I wanted to go into each book in the series a little bit blind. I do know it's about the third brother because they're all, again, standalone, interconnected. I honestly feel like you should read them in order though, because you get like spoilers of the previous relationship in the next book. I would recommend reading them in order, but this is the third and the youngest brother and his love story. Again, I don't really know what it's about. I don't want to spoil it, but they are all dark romances and they're very graphic, like gory graphic. Last but not least, we have Six of Crows. This is another book that I saw for a very long time before I purchased it, and I am very excited. This is about a heist, 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. I have never read a heist book, I don't think. So this will be a new genre for me, and this is a duology, which I just now saw. So I guess there is another one. So yeah, if it's good, I will read the second one. I actually don't feel too bad about my physical TBR after seeing some other people's, but in comparison to how it usually is, it is a lot. Like I usually only have like 5 books on my shelf, so I need to dwindle it down before buying any more. That is all the books on my physical TBR, and hope you enjoyed.